CNN does not sound optimistic about the current state of Kamala Harris's campaign, and apparently insiders within her political circle are even fearing what they call a 2016 redux. What exactly does that mean? We'll talk about it in today's video. So folks, I'm Vince with Resist the Mainstream. If you enjoy our content, please do us a big favor by hitting that subscribe button down below. And why should you subscribe? Because it helps us ensure that we can keep bringing you videos like this. And with that said, take a listen to this recent CNN segment that is sounding a 5-alarm fire about the current state of the election if you side with the Democrats.
We have some new CNN reporting today about what is going on behind the scenes inside the Harris campaign and more broadly among Democrats who are growing more and more anxious about a 2016 redux. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins me now. Priscilla, we were just joking here at the table that anxious Democrats happen on a day that ends in Y, but this is something that perhaps is warranted given the data that they're seeing. Explain your great reporting.
Yeah, look, that's exactly right, Dana. And this has been a campaign that was described by multiple Democrats, allies, aides, to the vice president as a good vibes campaign. But what's also creeping in now is that anxiety. The reason for that is because these polls are not really moving. Despite multiple battleground blitzes, despite the opportunities she has had across media outlets, there is still not a lot of movement from voters who are moving more towards her versus former President Donald Trump. In fact, I had one source describe it to me this way, quote, "People are nervous. They know the polls are tight. And a lot of us are having these flashbacks to 2016, too. We know when it can go the wrong way and it can still feel fresh."
Well, I mean, in total fairness, if Democrats are panicking that the polls are not moving, Kamala Harris is not really changing the state of the race, what did you expect? Because first of all, she is the vice president, okay? She is still an incumbent party candidate, even if she's not the incumbent president. And secondly, is Kamala herself exactly some type of dynamic political figure that was going to revolutionize the whole thing? No, you guys put her in because you felt like Biden had absolutely no chance at winning, which was a thought that honestly was probably kind of warranted. But again, what exactly did Democrats expect to happen? Yeah, they should be nervous about a 2016 flashback because the campaign in many ways is running on the same exact vibes. But before we continue this video, a quick word from our sponsors today over at GoldCo. With an election year upon us, the economy is more unpredictable than ever. Markets can swing dramatically and political changes can impact your savings overnight. Just take a look at a certain tax plan that's been proposed by a certain candidate. That's why it is the perfect time to partner with GoldCo. Gold and silver can serve as reliable stores of value, offering protection against economic uncertainty, inflation, and the unpredictable shifts that can come with election years. GoldCo makes it easy to diversify your retirement with gold and silver IRAs, providing a shield for your future even as other investments fluctuate. Their expert team will guide you through a quick, tax penalty-free rollover over your 401k or IRA, and right now you can get up to $10,000 in free silver just for opening an account. So take control of your financial future right now before the turmoil of the coming year hits. Visit rtmgold.com. Again, that is rtmgold.com. Check out diversifying your IRA at rtmgold.com.
2016 is the key here. When I've talked to Harris campaign officials, it often comes up in conversation. Where did Hillary Clinton have her pitfalls? And where can they make up that ground and build on what Joe Biden did in 2020? One of those, to give you an example, is those red and rural districts. Look at, for example, Cambria County in Pennsylvania. Now, former President Donald Trump won in that county, but the former President Biden was able to gain some ground there, more than Hillary Clinton had in 2016. The vice president has already visited twice. And so that is the type of strategy that they're trying to deploy to try to make up that ground where they saw Hillary Clinton wasn't able to in 2016. Then, too, there's the mobilizing. Talk to Democrats. They're always pretty boastful about their ground game, and they continue to be so, but that needs to turn into votes. So certainly some anxiety and nerves setting in as Election Day gets closer and those polls are just remain deadlocked.
Really important reporting.
Yeah, okay, here's the problem is part of the reason Joe Biden kind of won back some of Pennsylvania and those white working class voters back in 2020 was first of all because of COVID and everything that happened in that year and everything, you know, I don't need to talk about in today's video, but on top of that, it's because Joe Biden had marginal amounts of white working class appeal. He was Scranton Joe. He claimed to have ancestral roots in the area, even if they were a little bit questionable. And while it did not win back, let's say, non-college educated whites from Donald Trump en masse, it did just enough to stop the bleeding. But now you switched out the candidate for someone who is a Bay Area, San Francisco liberal. It shouldn't surprise anyone that Kamala has very little appeal with those demographics, and that might ultimately be the difference, which is, hey, you know, Kamala, when she was substituted into the race, she had this a degree of enthusiasm. There was this honeymoon, there was this hype. There's certainly probably going to be higher turnout from the Democrat base than there was going to be if Joe Biden remained the candidate. That's all true, but at the same time, if you cannot appeal to certain constituencies like the white working class, like Latino voters who are bleeding for Kamala Harris, then I don't know about those electoral chances. But that said, CNN recently had Kamala Harris call into their network for a phone interview, and you probably once again see the reasons why her October collapse is starting to begin in those polls, and momentum has completely stalled, and now it is actively reversing for her campaign. In fact, it is statistics like these that may ultimately be the nail in the coffin for Kamala's campaign.
Jump off the screen should set off sirens. All right, this is union households. This is Democratic margin in presidential election. It ain't what it used to be. You know, you go back to 1992, Bill Clinton won that union vote by 30 points. Hillary Clinton only won it by 12 points back in 2016. That was the lowest mark for a Democrat since 1984, Mondale versus Reagan. But look at where Kamala Harris is today. She's only leading by 9 points. That would be the worst Democratic performance in a generation, 10 points off the mark of Joe Biden, who of course won 4 years ago, who was sort of that union guy, Union Joe, right? Won it by 19 points. She's 10 points off his mark, and the worst in a generation if this, in fact, holds, Sarah.
It is interesting to note that the difference between this, and Biden still won.
Still won.
But those numbers are significantly down. All right, talk to me about manual labor, those folks who went to trade schools.
Yeah, those folks who use their hands. I think a lot of people oftentimes conflate the union vote with those who use their hands. Mike Rowe, of course, has been arguing more people should go to trade schools, more people should get a vocational degree. Look at this margin. This, to me...
I mean, there it is right there. Trump currently up 31 points among trade workers, and Kamala Harris, despite all of the political pandering to union people, historically down, terrible for Democrat standards among that demographic group. And look, this shouldn't be a big mystery to people. Again, this is exactly what happens when you frame your entire campaign on vibes, as they've been saying. Oh, it's a campaign based on joy. It's like, okay, I get it. All right, we're dancing at the DNC or something. But the American people are not feeling joy right now, are they? You know, and again, it's kind of hard to separate yourself from the current state of the country when you are the vice president. You know, you're not some random candidate out of rural New York or something that they just picked to be the new Democrat nominee. No, you're very much linked to this administration. And no matter how much you try to frame it differently or claim you're a change candidate or claim that, oh, good vibes are going to, you know, dictate this election. Well, we haven't felt good vibes for the past 4 years, and that's her problem. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. And until next time, I've been Vince with RTM. Peace.